Hello, and welcome to another chapter of a tome pulled right off the shelves at the heart of the Jakuls. As always, I'm your stalwart host, Lothran, and there's ever so much more data to relay. So let's get to it, shall we? Go grab a filling meal, settle into a cozy spot, and pay accurate attention to Fleet Part 55. The Sanctum of Arakash. Vilivin pulled himself free of his previous form, looking down at his right hand, noting that all three successively smaller fists clenched in unison and then unfurled to close one at a time. Each hand also had one less finger than the previous, so the first one had 4 and a thumb, the second 3 and a thumb, and the third had only 2 fingers and a thumb.
Are you planning on standing there and staring all day? Arakash asked of Vilivin before finding himself in a sudden bear hug as strong as the one he'd given to Vilivin on the day they had met.
This is so new to me. Vilivin looked back down as he released Arakash, who shifted before him to resemble a form similar to the one Vilivin now occupied. Aware of the trickling streams of water running down a set of steps in a black, endless cavern. On either side of the stairs, 2 massive statues knelt, one trying to rise against some unseen force while resisting visible torment, the other in pain and utter defeat, keeping their eyes to the floor beneath them. Vilivin reached out to console the massive face of the defeated figure, a Vryn man, and he turned his giant face, letting the tears of stone pour across Vilivin's fingers. I thought you said you weren't a god.
This isn't my place, Arakash replied honestly to Vilivin's question.
Whose place is it? Vilivin asked reluctantly, pulling his hand away from the stone statue that tried almost to bind his hand to its face to keep it comforted.
The Vul. They built it to honor the fallen. Vilivin was about to question Arakash, but he began to stride silently up the gray marble staircase ahead of him, each step splashing in the small streams of water flowing down the middle portion of the stairs.
The fallen? Who fell, exactly? Vilivin halted when Arakash turned back to face him, gesturing to another very different statue. An octahedron-like hive, looking very much like the creature that had been following Cam, that he'd later found out wasn't real during his first test when he just arrived here on Strife 1. It had the same 3 legs, and flexible horn, an open, gaping mouth, and 2 small arms beneath its incredibly large body.
Those are the Vul. It may be hard to believe, but other children of the Vu have made war. Sometimes of themselves, sometimes of each other, like the Jakuls and all their kin. Arakash turned back to the stairway and continued to ascend without further comment.
Vilivin followed after, keeping a lid on any exhaustion that he felt, and swallowing as much of the ceaseless exertion in the attempt to ascend these seemingly endless stairs. Stop! I have to rest! Vilivin sat down, turning back, to note that they hadn't gone anywhere. The bottom was still just 2 steps away. What the hell? But things here were decidedly different. A pair of Vryn statues lay on a flat marble walkway, each standing with their arms holding up the great burden of the ceiling. A carving of 1,000,000 arms, faces, and limbs, all crammed together, Vul and Vryn alike, each face twisted in grim suffering and determination. This is a war memorial. But where is it, Arakash? Where are we?
Arakash answered, emerging from a billowing cloud of fog beyond Vilivin, on the path, and not up the stairs behind him where he should be. I could answer, but not even I understand the description properly. Can we move on?
Where are we going? Vilivin remained where he was, even as Arakash turned and walked back into the fog. Where are we going, Arakash? What's going on here? Someone began to walk down the steps behind Vilivin, He whirled, leveling an accusation of frustration at Arakash. I'm getting more than a little sick of this shit, Arakash. Who are you? Where's Arakash?
Certainly not Arakash, whomever that may be. A smiling bull bowed, or rather, the bull equivalent of a bow, with a flourish and an energetic, happy bob of his entire body. It's a pleasure. I'm Norimar. What's your name? You're not lost, are you?
I am not, Vilivin replied suspiciously. Arakash guided me here, told me that he needed me to come here so that I could help him. Vilivin didn't trust this other figure just yet. Wasn't sure if he'd ever be able to.
Did you two get separated? Oh no. The memorial is that way sometimes with other species. It's keyed to Vol genetics, and while my scans indicated you share some similarities in our DNA, there's a lot of gaps in your makeup, so things will be a little screwy. Some Jakul in you, some Vrin, some, what's this, experimental strains. That explains the look of you, certainly. I thought it was just specialized technical applications at first, but this is very different. As a curator, I take my job very seriously. If you would just step on this pad here, Norimar pointed to a small point of red light that turned into a flat, solid, metal-looking red pedestal.
Wait, what will happen when I step on the pad? What is it gonna do to me?
Oh, it's nothing to be concerned about, sir. It will just transport you back to the entrance. Perfectly safe for everyone involved.
I'm not going back to the entrance, Vilivin announced, putting his hands on his hips, or trying to, and sort of failing miserably while having 3 sets of hands get in each other's way. He looked more silly than imposing that he'd been intending to do.
The transportation is quite safe, I assure you, sir. There is nothing to be concerned about. I will be guiding the process every step of the way.
I came here through a rushing torrent of churning water, and I have a different body than when I entered. I think. I'm not going back there. We're not going to that entrance. I can't. It'll kill me. I don't know what's going to happen, alright? I'm not going on that pad. You can't make me.
Oh my, this is very serious indeed. I had thought we plugged up all the holes to Grigari, but every few hundred years someone new slips through, no matter how many sweeps we do. I swear the trouble from that accursed place never seems to end. The bull nibbled on one of his sharp-seeming hands, and that actually split apart, revealing a dozen or so flexible, paper-thin tendrils in place of where fingers would be on the arm of any other being. Listen, I know this place seems odd to you. I know I might seem strange. I knew I should have grabbed the body adjustment cloak. I always put it on the duty shelf before I work, so I can remember it just in case, but then in cases like this, I always forget it up there. Alright, but if... The bull searched around his thoughts for something to use to help convince Vilivin of his intentions. He found it in a sudden eureka moment. If this Arakash led you here, then he surmised that you would meet me. I'm in charge of all of this. I take care of this place. I'm constantly scanning it for anything out of place. I would have noticed you. Arakash would have known that.
Arakash was with me until you showed up, Vilivin offered to the other being, still not really trusting it.
I assure you, my scans are very accurate. I picked you up the moment you arrived, the exact, precise millisecond. You arrived here alone. I can show you the scan data if you want to see it. Vilivin was almost taken aback by how jovial and open the bull sounded in all of its gestures and explanations.
No, I don't need to see the scan data. I don't even know if I'd be able to understand it.
Oh, well, it's very simple. I could explain it to you very well. Listen. I know this is all very confusing, alright? I want to help you. And if it will help at all, I'll let you come back through the memorial after I do a full genetic scan of you and rework the base code so that this place will read you properly. And then we can spend as much time as you want searching for Arakash, okay? The vole made a platform for itself, gingerly stepping onto it and then gesturing with one hand for Vilivin to take up the other platform that it had already shown to him.
After looking around, Vilivin figured he really didn't have much of a choice and stepped onto the platform a little reluctantly.
Keep all limbs within the circle. We'll be arriving right now, the vole said as it walked off of its pedestal into a well-kept and extremely lush garden full of fruiting and flowering alien plants. Oh, I do so love this place in the morning light, he commented as he marched onward. Vilivin could do little more than stand and gape at the immense chamber they were in, this one hall as large as a Daramore battleship of the line. Are you coming, sir? Oh, my atrocious manner. I asked your name, but I never actually got it. Could you please tell me? If you did, I'm sorry that I forgot. I'm busy and I was worried about you and I was trying to get everything done, so, just tell me your name and then we can be, acquaintances. It'd be very pleasant.
And so it is. Our time together has once more come to a close. I hope each and every one of you enjoyed the tale as much as I have the telling of it. As always, I've been your adroit host, Lothran, and this was Fleet Part 55, The Sanctum of Arakash. Another tale right from the heart of the Jakuls. And now, sadly, ever so sadly, we must once again part ways. Korvoth, guide them back along the proper path, back to the safety they know all too well.
Yes, sir, Lothran. This is even more confusing than the last episode. What is going on? Lothran doesn't tell me nothing. Back to my work. A pleasant greeting and a fond farewell to each and all. Please leave all your comments, questions, and kindnesses down below. Don't you let me catch a single one of you leaving any of that nasty, mean, or rude stuff, though. You keep all that foolishness to yourselves. Got it? I got my eye on you. Don't you do it. Don't you ever do it. I will not forgive you. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to help us learn, spread, and grow. And don't forget that we strongly encourage each and every one of you to stay safe out there. See you again tomorrow for the discussion. Lothran's got a serious amount of explaining to do. Good night and good luck. You'll need it. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye. 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 Bye-bye.